Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Kane don't hurt.
Is my boomstick!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Welcome to the Bargain Bin. He's your host, Ben Mason.
And he's your co-host, Sandra Luketic. And today we're talking 2001's Jason X, or J-Songs, if you will. Friday the 13th, Part 10. As always, we assume if you're listening to this episode, you have already seen the movie. Sandra, I need some of your background on this one.
Oh man, I can't even remember. Was it a couple of years ago now where you and I went through the entire franchise? We were just watching them on stream together. And I had seen some of the films in the series before, but I know Jason X that time was my first viewing ever. And then my second viewing ever was for this episode. So that's my history with this movie.
Okay. I'm just going to hop in here and say I thought this movie was amazing when it came out. I have my autographed DVD signed by Chuck Campbell, who played Sunarin, as I call him, in the movie. One of the strongest performances, a local guy from Nova Scotia who made it big on Stargate Atlantis. And then this.
Do you have any knowledge of the history of this movie?
A little bit, but it seems like you may have more. Do you want to get into it? Is it something you want to know?
I was just more curious why the jump, because it's a very stark contrast with this frozen in time futuristic storyline to everything we had seen for Jason prior to it. And I don't have any knowledge of it. I didn't look it up or anything, but it almost feels like they were like, oh, we need a Jason movie. We don't have anything. Hey, here's that other transcript that we had for another project. Let's just slap the Jason name on it. And I could be entirely wrong on that, but like it just feels so out of place.
No, I know there was a lot of issues with because they were trying to do a Freddy versus Jason movie for so long. So long. But there was a big issue of like, well, Freddy is a New Line Cinema property. Jason is a Paramount property. Doing a co-production between those studios, not exactly common. So it was more of like who gets the rights or like the money from this, who gets the money from that. And they just like eventually New Line purchased the Friday the 13th franchise. I think after 8 or 9. Yeah, I think it was after Jason Goes to Hell. So now you've got Jason and Freddy under the same production company or the same film company, and that could happen. But while they were trying to figure out all of that bullshit, they ended up finally making Jason X. And it was one of the guys in the movie who played Dallas. I forget his name right now. He co-wrote the script for this. And from what I remember, he was a pretty big sci-fi fan. So it just kind of made sense that that's where it was going to go. I just can't believe they actually fucking made it.
I mean,
like,
to me, it seems like you're kind of pigeonholing yourself, or maybe not pigeonholing, but like writing yourself into a corner, because you're not going to just go back in time like this never happened. Like it just seems like such a weird choice.
I agree, because if you all of a sudden like you do 11. And you're back in God knows what year, because the time jumps are insane in that franchise. You're just kind of ignoring that 10 happened, but you're also back in the past. So, there's no chance that they're going to beat Jason or at least kill Jason. So now you're just stuck doing the same old formula again. And honestly, after watching this movie, I'm okay with that.
Well, I mean, I think the easiest and maybe the most, I don't say lazy, likely way to circumvent that is this futuristic Jason lands on a planet that is like time stamped in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah, that's all they could do. And really, I don't like the idea of futuristic Jason.
Well, you got it, so here we are.
I know. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this because mine are kind of all over the place. Not as negative as expected, but
The funny thing is, like, you heard my thoughts on it because we talked about it when we watched it. I guess now it's just been enough time that maybe you forgot what I thought of it.
that's exactly the case. I don't know, man. I don't know about this franchise where we are right now, but I hope we do get Friday the 13th 13, and I hope we get it soon because I need more of like the '09 entry was borderline perfect in my opinion. I just need to see more of that.
Okay, well, that ain't what we got here, so
All right. Well, shall we hop in?
yeah.
So excited.
What do you want
Okay,
me to
no,
say?
actually, no. You know what? Let's go back for a second. They're your no, seriously. Like this is a legit conversation we should be having. What do you think about the space boom in general? Because I say Jason doesn't make sense. Like the appeal of that movie, that franchise, is a hockey mask serial killer murdering sexy teens at summer camp. So why would you take him out of that equation altogether and expect it to do as well, if not better?
I think you know what I feel about it. I
Yeah.
questioned it right from the start. I wasn't questioning it out of enjoyment.
But it's like the boom in horror though, because like I think with Hellraiser it kind of made sense because it's an like, interdimensional being. Leprechaun was at least funny, and I didn't care that he went from space to the hood. But like, but like you can't put Michael Myers in space. Yeah, I would hate to see Freddy in space. It would just be way too stupid. And Jason just kind of gets lumped in with those others. Like it was a horrible choice.
Well, the thing for me is, you know what? Who cares if we show our hands early? Like, it's pointless. There's really
It is
no
pointless.
benefit to doing this in space. Okay, futuristic, you can add some different technologies which are mildly used, you know, like things like curing the people at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that never becomes a major factor in the movie plot or outcome. So, like, why? Like, the movie
There's-
does not benefit from being in space in the future.
And the franchise doesn't benefit from this movie existing.
Yeah, no, well, nobody benefits from this movie.
Yeah, no, it's true. But Kane Hodder, maybe. So, all right. So we open with really shitty early 2000 CG credits. And right away, I'm cursing this movie. Because I'm thinking, like, oh, is this hell? Like, Jason went to hell? Is this what we're seeing? Is this a throwback to the last movie? No, he's being experimented on. Are we seeing his insides? Maybe. Like, what is happening here? What did you get from this?
Nothing.
Yeah, good. All right, so it's not just me.
Like, I'm sorry, but there is a lot of good and bad with the Jason franchise. We've talked about, you know, different ones, Manhattan, 3D, you know, things like that. But this more than anything just doesn't need to be a Jason movie. And you start
No.
watching it and you're just like, hey, what's going on? You know what? I don't care.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, why? Why? Like, it's the movie set in 2010 originally, which is only 9 years away from the release date. So why the hell are you doing that? Jason's being restrained and contained in a facility awaiting cryogenic suspension. I don't know why they just leave his mask on. It makes zero sense to me other than it's iconic. Nothing in this movie actually makes sense. We'll go there first.
It almost seems like they can't get the mask off. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember who exactly it is, but one of them tries to start like sawing around it, and like they are, you know, kind of like looking at it perplexed, like this thing is fused to him. It's almost like, hey, no, that's his face now.
Yeah, it is his face. They have to cut his skin to get the mask off.
Yeah.
It's not even like strapped on.
Nope.
And then to add to the what the hell feeling of this movie, we get Cronenberg showing up, and it's just, what is he doing in this movie? I guess it's filmed in Toronto and he was around, but he's there to stop Dr. Rowan LaFontaine so he can study Jason's regenerative capabilities. It does not go well.
See, now I'll give them that makes sense somewhat from like a plot device standpoint. If there's one thing you can say that, scientists would want to know, it's like, hey, how can we utilize. Now, of course, evil scientists are going to be like, let's make him a biochemical weapon kind of thing. But like,
Yeah.
An actual progressive scientist be like, can we utilize his regenerative abilities to better humankind? And I mean, like, later on when they jump to the future and they're using these machines to like essentially rejuvenate body parts and cure people, it's like almost like, is that a nod to the like advances in technology that Jason made possible because of his regeneration?
That would be interesting.
That they don't actually explore that, and I don't know if it needs to. It can just be a subtle nod, but it's like, this is maybe the one piece of good writing that I can give the script credit.
Do you know how absolutely horrible it is that one idea you came up with, that nod, that reference, the potential, is better than anything they gave us?
This movie's so bad.
It should have terrified the shit out of the producers when Cronenberg agrees to be in your movie, shows up, looks at the script, and then rewrites his lines because it's so bad.
You know what else I also can't I just can't reason with in my mind when it comes to the script telling? Whether or not you know the benefits of his rejuvenation or potential benefits, this isn't in a world of like Jason 2 or 3D where people don't know Jason, don't know his capabilities, don't know his dangers. Like, these people are well versed in the threat of Jason, and they still are just like, yeah, let's just keep him strapped. Like, how do you not know the sheer utter risks of this to not mess with it at this point?
Well, if Rowan knows all of his history, knows what he can do, knows what he's done and is capable of doing, and has one person watching him.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the big problem.
A problem.
Well, because in previous movies, they can play a level of ignorance. Sorry, not innocence. Ignorance. We don't know what he's capable of. We don't know Jason. After the first movie, it's like, Jason is even a new entity, right? So, like, the characters can't be like, oh, we didn't know what danger we were unleashing. Like, no, they live in a world now where they know exactly what the threat is, and they still take the worst possible precautions.
I have to ask, how does Jason free himself?
With ease.
I guess, yeah. He kills the one guard they have posted to look after him and sets his corpse up as a distraction. Have we ever seen him be this methodical?
Man, I ain't going to be able to look back at the history of his movies to answer that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just going to say no, yeah. So
I thought
everybody's
that one
killed.
Guard was going to be the one that could stop him.
One guard and 3 chains. Perfect. Also, if Jason went to hell, where did they get him from?
It doesn't matter. They don't need to explain how he comes back from space. They just won't.
Yeah. Well, he's on another planet at the end of this movie.
It's like, it reminds me of that one scene from The Simpsons when they have the fake soap opera, and they're like, so-and-so, I thought you were dead. I was! And that's it. Just like, we're not even going to bother to try and explain it. Jason, I thought you were in space. Yep.
But that's all you can do. You can't have him hijack a spaceship and fly back to a planet that's already destroyed. But yeah, everybody's killed. Jason and Rowan get cryogenically frozen. Thoughts on this mess? This whole scene.
It's so terrible. I got nothing, man. It's yep.
Well, it looks cheap. It sounds cheap. It's missing the fun of the previous films. There is no way that machete would go through all of that steel for that cryo vault. And where the hell did the machete even come from?
I think they had it on like one of the tables near him, if I'm not mistaken.
Why would you do that?
I just finished saying they took the worst precautions possible. It's like, let's leave his trademark weapon right here so that when he gets free, he can just use it.
This is the only thing we can do to stop him. Now let's make sure we set ourselves up for complete failure. Cut to the year 2455. A science class explores the Crystal Lake Research Facility. A science class.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
We don't know how the future handles their education.
Not well.
These are graduate students.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
You're asking for more explanation for me than the movie gives. That's not fair.
I know. All right, well, Earth has become unlivable, and humans have resettled on Earth too. So this is a science excursion.
Okay,
right
hold on. Thought experiment here, okay? Well, maybe not thought experiment, but let's test the waters.
Careful.
Why is Earth 1 destroyed?
I feel like they say, but I don't remember.
Why are they doing this on their way to Earth 2?
I don't believe that's discussed. So really what happened is they went to an old research facility for no real reason, no apparent reason. They go to a destroyed planet that is incredibly volatile just to look around.
Yep.
I hate all of these people, by the way.
It's like, let's go back to the Earth 1 that was destroyed and do research into what? I don't know. Well,
research.
So that we can benefit Earth 2. How? I don't know. What are you looking for?
Looking? We've got Professor Lowe, KM14, an android, Lowe's intern, Adrienne, and then students Sunaran, Janessa, Azrael, Kinsa, Waylander, and Stoney.
Yeah. Students, body count, and cannon fodder.
Yeah. I can't ignore how annoying Azrael is. I just wanted him to die immediately.
Oh man, you have just echoed my thoughts and feelings on like every character we've met so far.
But they open up the cryo unit, and did you notice anything about Jason?
You know I never do when you ask me like that.
Right. Well, he's in a completely different pose. And now the machete is raised over his head. But when he froze, it was stuck through the side of the vault.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then we get the debate over what's on his face.
Well, that's
hilarious.
He must have pulled the machete out, patched the hole so that the cryogenic freezing would still work, and then lifted his arm before it fully froze.
Brilliant. That makes so much sense. We learned that hockey was outlawed in 2024.
Sure.
Like another failed joke. I have to say, though, Rowan looked very freezer burnt.
Well, luckily they have the regenerative technology now.
All right, get those nanites working. Jason's frozen body falls and cuts off Azrael's arm. And I really wish I was a bit more to the right and just took him out there.
But this is how we get the opportunity to show that they can just grow an arm back, because that will be important later, right?
Of course. Of course it will. And they decide to take Jason and Rowan with them back onto the ship.
I mean, okay, obviously we know what happens later in the movie. We know that they went to Earth 1 essentially because Lowe wanted to get Jason, right?
Yes, I guess that is revealed later.
But, like, none of the students question this. Nobody seems to have a problem with it. Whatever.
Wait a minute. Does Lowe actually know who Jason is, or he decides to take him and then finds out on the ship, and that's when he tries to make money off of him?
Oh,
Because if he
might be
knew,
right.
and that's why they went there, that would make a lot of sense. But I never got that.
Now that you mention it, I think that is that he just found out after the fact, and maybe my brain tried to superimpose a logic to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because that would give the movie a bit of credit. But no, it's Rowan that tells him about the other body they brought onto the ship.
Just don't understand how somebody reads the script to this movie and doesn't come up with these ideas to make it better. Like, I'm not trying very hard, and it's not taking me long.
Oh my god, this movie sucks.
I hate you for picking this movie.
Well, I mean, I picked this one because Cody imagined that we'd get a kick out of it, and blame him. We meet pilot Fat Lou, played by Boyd Banks, and he flies everyone back to the Grendel. The Grendel. Why the Beowulf reference?
I don't
I don't know. Why so much terrible CG in this movie?
Because it was cheap.
Yeah. That's what
really
you want to believe.
This really feels like a movie that was like just patched together last minute. Like, it really does feel like it didn't have like a continuity person. It didn't have quality control. It didn't have time to properly bake, and that includes putting in the time for proper CG to redo scenes that should, like, a lot of this feels like a one-take movie that was done over a weekend.
Yeah, and there's no point of having quality control when there's nothing of quality in this movie.
Well,
that's not true. Thank God. Thank God Peter Mensa's in this movie as Sergeant Elijah Brodsky. I think he was a saving grace. It's just nice to have a competent actor. I mean, props to Chuck too, but Peter Mensa, you see the face and you're like, okay, well, I know I like him. I know he can hold a character together. I know he can pull a film together. So there's that at least. I guess that's where a lot of the budget must have gone.
Dude, one person can't hold back the tide.
I know. I'm trying.
I can hear that you're trying.
They reattach Azrael's arm and reanimate Rowan. And if they don't plan to do the same thing with Jason, why aren't they trying to keep him frozen? He's just going to turn to mush.
You know, like, this whole regeneration machine that, like, I theorized could have been a nod to Jason's regeneration. How awesome would it be if the solution to the movie was they used it on Jason, which gave him his mortality back, and then they'd be able to kill him?
That would be brilliant. We need Jason X, the Luketic cut.
Yeah, but we need to film a whole lot more scenes.
Oh, yeah. Also, Lowe's plan is to charge people to see Rowan and sell Jason.
This is gotta be the stupidest plan. I mean, okay, selling Jason, because again, you know, some corrupt person's gonna be like, we'll use him to drop him in enemy territory and kill everybody, whatever, right? But like, hey, you want to pay to go see this person? Well, what do? I don't know. They're from
They person.
Right?
They person real hard.
What's the appeal? What are we looking at here?
Janessa is sleeping with her teacher, and I'm pretty sure we all saw that coming.
Sure.
It's almost a third of the way into the movie now. Any characters stand out?
No, I hate them all.
Yeah, yeah, terrible.
I'm not gonna pull punches here with you. I had so much trouble with my least favorite character. Like, I wanted to write cast.
Mm-hmm. I think you'll appreciate my answer.
Okay, all right.
We get the whole cutting off Jason's mask scene that we've already talked about. Then we cut to the doctor instructor, Lowe, in lingerie, having his nipple clamped by Janessa in full Dom mode.
So, okay, so he's sleeping with his student, fine. Do we need the fetishes? Like,
Nope.
does that change it in any way? Does that make him any more or less of a skeevy, just pervert? Like, no.
Well,
Why?
you just had to imply it earlier. We don't need to see this. The movie is like just around an hour and a half. So, like, I'd be okay if you cut a few minutes out. Like, this is horrid.
The only reason you put stuff in here is if you want to subtly add elements that are going to be used later in the movie. Maybe if they're using the clamps to electrocute his nipples or something. Later on, they use that to jumpstart a machine that they need, right? That's the only reason to put something like this into the movie. But so many scenes are just there, like we talked about, just because.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this whole movie happens because they haven't figured out a way to kill Jason. So they decide they're going to freeze him and keep him in stasis. Now, my thoughts.
Okay.
Cut off his head, shoot his body into space.
Yeah.
Help himself.
Separate them. There you go.
Yeah. But next up after this, we get what's probably the most memorable kill of the movie, if you care to describe it.
Took long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll get to the kill, but like, does it not feel like the build up to this movie? It is something like 25-ish minutes. Like, it's not overly long, but it feels like it takes forever and like nothing happens.
Nothing.
No,
Nothing
is that just me? No, or
It's just the whole thing is so boring.
yeah.
And it's hard to watch. It's very trying. But this nitroglycerin death, Adrian getting her face smashed on the counter, did not look terrible. I will give it that. And it is incredibly memorable. Because I think if you ask anybody who has seen this movie, what do you remember most about Jason X? They'll probably say the scene.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I don't want to say fantastic because that would imply that it's also recorded well and shot well, but it's a great concept for a kill. And it's quite brutal. And it's a great way to, we'll say, set the tone for like the kills that are going to come after. But again, it's just like your ambition was just absolutely far outweighed by your capabilities. And it suffers for it, which sucks.
Yeah. And then we get that, I don't want to say great. It's so hard to compliment things about this movie. We get this interesting kill. And then cut to Tsunaran and KM. And for some reason, he's trying to give her realistic breasts.
Oh, no, she has the breasts. He's trying to give her the nipples.
Oh, that's right. Them falling off is actually quite funny.
Probably the only chuckle I got in the movie.
Also, the sound they make when they hit the floor.
But like, they really try to push that this guy's just trying to screw his android, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
multiple jokes about it.
Yeah, it's like, why? I don't know, he's a loser. Any more or less than the rest of you? Not really. Okay.
I have a note here just saying, just covering the talk that Lo and Rowan have and how she explained why they were going to freeze him and what went down when the suits came in. And that in the end, it always comes down to money. And they make Lo look regretful here. But we don't care about him. We know he's a piece of shit. So what are we doing? Don't make us feel sympathetic for somebody like this. It will never work. And now you're just wasting more time and making us feel worse for actually taking the time to watch this trash.
I actually didn't think that he looked regretful. I thought he looked a little bit more worried that like his plan was not going to come together.
Oh, that could be it.
Like a little bit more fearful or reprehensive. Not reprehensive. Words are not coming to me.
That's fine. It's because you just finished watching Jason X.
Probably.
Janessa's a problem too. She's sleeping with her teacher for better grades, hits on Sinaran while insulting him at the same time, showing no real character growth throughout the entire film. She's just a coward and an unlikable person. But they discover Adrian's corpse.
I don't think
while
anybody shows
elsewhere,
growth in the movie at all.
KM does. Jason does.
I mean, Jason does grow.
Yeah.
It's not really necessary, but yeah, sure.
The killing really ramps up after they discover Adrian's corpse. Because that's where Jason kills Stoney and Kinsa.
Good. Like, at least watching him kill these people is somewhat entertaining. It's not done well, but at least something's happening.
Oh, it's awful. But at least we're finally getting what Friday the 13th is known for. And then they slap you in the face with this holographic game scene. And I need to know your thoughts on this, like the monster design and everything.
It's bad CGI again.
Oh, it's terrible.
But I mean, like, it would be pretty cool to play a game like that. It's just like, you know, like a hyper realistic, like laser tag kind of thing, concept wise. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I do like how when Jason shows up, they are not quite sure if that's in the game or not. It's like, it's a cool moment in just that, you know, it suspends a little bit of disbelief.
Yeah. It's one of the more inventive parts of the script.
And one of the few times that an element is going to come back, because they use this hologram later.
Yes. Yeah, they definitely set it up. Jason satisfyingly kills Ariel here with a decent backbreak. And then Dallas, the guy who I told you is the screenwriter, Todd Farmer, less satisfying because he just rams his head into the wall twice. And I've noticed that a lot of the kills in this movie are just Jason pushing someone's head against something.
A little lazy, isn't it?
It's at least 3 kills.
Yeah, there's a couple memorable kills for sure. But then the rest, it feels like just filler. Like, oh yeah, we can't think of anything clever. It just bash his head into the wall. Okay, sure, why not?
Well, they kill low off screen. Why?
Take away a moment of satisfaction we could have had.
You really want to see him die, and they take that from you. And then we get another problem with this movie, and that is the grunt team of mercenaries. And none of these people make any sense, because the whole point of this trip was for research, we're told. I assume that the mercenaries are there for protection. Now, if that's the case, why did they all stay on the ship when the students went to Earth 1?
Your guess is as good as mine.
And I think I care about these people less than the students.
The thing is, too, I'm watching this and I'm like, shouldn't, like, mercenaries, military personnel, security in the future have better technology and strategic knowledge? Like, does this not improve over time?
You would think. You would think that would be the case, but no. And these soldiers, these mercenaries, they're just set up for nameless kills. I feel like it takes away what made the earlier film so good. Yeah, you may not have cared about the campers, but they did feel like people.
Yeah, this does feel like we're just trying to toss in additional bodies to up the body count. Like,
and the kills are terrible.
Like, even thinking back to when we did, you know, Friday the 13th 3D or whatever it's called, right? There's some detestable characters in there, right? But they all have a personality, so you remember them.
Yeah. There is actually one good kill, though, for the mercenaries. One of my favorites in the movie, actually, and that is... And this goes to show how just stupid and forgettable these characters are, because I don't even know the guy's name. But it's when Jason throws him over the railing and he lands on one of those like giant drill bits, and he's impaled and then just slowly spins down the bit. I thought it looked great. And they followed it up with like Brodsky asking what's his condition and the other merc being like, oh, he's screwed. Like, that's really stupid.
That was so bad. So bad.
But I got a laugh out of me, man.
Dude, me, King Dad joke, cringed at that.
So some of them actually catch Jason, impaling him on a hook. It kind of looks like a space anchor. I don't know what the hell that is. But we see something that I don't think has ever happened in one of these movies. And that is Brodsky, being intelligent, shoots at his knee. And I'm thinking, that's just plain brilliant. But it has no effect. Because he just jumps down and like he's completely healed somehow. And that's something I don't understand. With a character that is constantly rotting from film to film, what's healing?
You're asking questions that this movie is not going to provide you answers to.
Mercenary gets cut in half and drags himself along the floor with what is probably the worst CG we've seen yet.
At least he kept fighting until the end.
Yeah. Brodsky's pseudo death I thought was absolutely hilarious. And we'll come back to that in our awards.
Okay.
Jason kills the pilot, sending the Grendel crashing through the Solaris space station. And the first thing I thought when I saw this was, how many were added to the death toll here?
Doesn't matter.
And how did a small ship crash through a space station? The space station explodes, leaving zero debris whatsoever. And for the most part, the ship is fine.
Science?
I should have known. The most obvious answer.
There's no explanation, dude. It's like, thanks, Cody. You want to tune in to listen to us hate a movie for an hour?
It's just so bad. Like I really thought we were gonna have a lot of fun with this because I remembered enjoying it because yeah, it was dumb, but it was entertaining. And I just kind of hate old me now.
No,
I wonder.
Movie. Just hate
I wonder.
This
I think I've got the DVD right here. I do. Okay. Jason X, and it's signed Ben. Never turn around. Stay real. Chuck Campbell. Now, it has a filmmaker's commentary with the director, the writer, and the producer. I think I'm gonna have to watch this and see if they're embarrassed, if any embarrassment comes through in what they're saying, because you can't talk about this movie favorably.
I don't know how you haven't already listened to that.
Yeah, I probably have. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna do it again. It's just it's probably gonna be more entertaining than the film.
Yeah.
But Jason breaks into the little. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of the film, are we at the end credits yet?
We're over halfway through my notes. How about that?
Damn it. Okay.
So Lo, Rowan, and the students are hiding in the lab, and Jason breaks in. For some reason, Lo is the only one who doesn't run away, and like I said, gets killed off screen. One of my big problems with this movie, Sandro, is everyone's freaking out. No one knows what to do. Then they come up with a plan. Use the escape shuttle. How did nobody think about that yet?
You would think that if you are participating in interplanetary travel, escape shuttle would be definitely in your mind at all times.
Especially once the thing starts killing all of the mercenaries on board. I would have had this plan already. Like if Rowan should have been like, things are going to go south. We need to come up with a plan right now. Instead of just ripping on them for bringing Jason on board.
Even when like the mercenaries are preparing to go fight Jason, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you guys do that, and I'll be over here getting on the escape shuttle and leaving.
Exactly.
Like, thanks for slowing him down.
And we get a quick scene here. Going back to what you were saying about Sunaran and KM. Why are they making out?
They're gonna die, and he doesn't want to die a virgin. I don't know.
Well, he still will because she's an android. I mean, it does lead to a great line later. But Jason kills Crutch, and then Kinsa tries to flee in the pod by herself. Doesn't detach the fuel lines and explodes.
I felt no sympathy whatsoever.
This death, not only incredibly stupid, makes the most sense of any in the film.
Yeah.
That is how her character should die.
Yeah, this scene kind of blew me away.
Oh, see, that's good writing compared to what we've seen here. Jason has Waylander, Rowan, and Janessa cornered, and this leads to the big reveal. And what is that reveal? Do you remember?
No. No.
An upgraded KM-14
Oh God, yeah.
with the great line from Chuck, I gave her an upload. I wish that in 2001, this was 2001, right? Jesus.
Yeah, 2001.
I had seen this in theaters just so I could heard the reaction of an entire room full of people when Chuck drops that line.
So I know
So-
that it comes after, right? Because I believe Resident Evil came a year after this. But I got so many vibes of the main character in Resident Evil. I think it's Alice, played by Mila
It is.
Jovovich.
Yep.
I got so many vibes of this being just like a shit version of that. But then I'm like, oh, but it came before it, right? If it was the other way around, I'd be like, man, they tried to copy that, did such a bad job of it.
No, instead Resident Evil just did what they did better.
Yeah, like this is how you do it.
What did you think about this showdown, this fight? Any thoughts at all?
I was
Other
rooting for
than-
Jason.
Yeah, me too. I think there's two good things about this scene. One, Brodsky isn't dead. Two, I really thought the way KM finishes off Jason was pretty cool. Like blowing off one of his arms, then a leg, and then the pulse rifle shotgun thing to the face, and you just see his head explode was fantastic. And then whipping the machete into his chest was a nice touch.
Get to know that even blowing his head apart is not going to stop him.
Well, I'm curious about that because if not for the nanites, what would have happened?
You need to stop being curious about things, man.
I do, but they make me if the movie's going to make me ask these questions, should be ready to answer them for me.
Oh, you know that's not true.
Learning that the hull has a breach and it's just a matter of time before the ship is destroyed, we finally get some tension in this movie. Because now there's like a time limit. And now I'm excited for that because it means something finally has to actually happen in this movie. But it makes me even happier because it means now I know that we're winding down in runtime. A short circuit starts up the nanite table, rebuilding Jason. And what are your thoughts on the reveal of Uber Jason?
I don't like the design.
It looks like absolute shit.
It really does feel like they tried way too hard.
They definitely did. It looks horrendous.
You know, you could have just not changed the image and just maybe like made the same mask metallic, for example, without giving it like the bumps and the grooves and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, okay, that's pretty badass, right? Like it's a metal mask, right? And make it solid without the chips and the scuffs and stuff.
Yeah.
But like they went with this other design, and I'm like,
just has a colander on his face.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It looks like he has like butt cheeks on his head.
It really does,
right? Like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I do love that he straight up punches Cam's head off of her body. Throwback to Manhattan. Willander sacrifices himself, blowing up part of the Grendel with Jason inside. We're racing towards the finish line here, man.
Good.
A rescue ship arrives just as Jason punches through an exterior wall of the Grendel. For a movie that I've shit on repeatedly for looking like garbage, I think this was okay. The air pressure bit, where they're all kind of like dangling, I thought looked pretty good. And then we get cheated with Jeanette's death because she gets sucked through the hole that Jason punched through the side of the ship. And I really, really wish we could have seen more. And I'm thinking, well, at least they knew the limitations of their budget and didn't bother. But I'm wondering if they just didn't have enough money to do anything at this point.
Oh, man.
I feel like
you go back to the first Friday the 13th, almost all of the kills are off camera. You see the weapon brandished, you hear the scream after the like camera pans over or whatever, but they do such a good job creating tension, making it feel like it's like it has weight to it. This is just like, I don't care.
Yeah. And it seems like the filmmakers didn't care. So if they're not going to care, what are you doing for us? Nothing.
This movie is guilty of going for style over substance and failing miserably at that too.
'Cause it has, no style whatsoever.
Nope.
So we're now
Butt
down
cheeks
to
on his face.
butt cheeks on his face. We are down to 3.5 people now: Rowan, Brodsky, Sunaran, and KM's head. And again, we see limits of the budget. The rescue ship is the exact same model as the escape pod, just with a different paint job. So they just didn't have to do anything other than map over what they had already created. And the
At least they-
lifeline, dude.
At least they gave it a coat of paint. Like, I have such low expectations for this movie that I half expected KM's body to just be covered by a blanket with him walking around with her in like a headlock.
At one point, it looks like that's exactly what's happening.
It's so
What they used to dock to the Grendel looked like it was drawn on with neon marker. Like, if you don't have the budget to do what you want to do, change what you do, because it's going to show and it's going to detract from the overall quality. And this is a prime example for me. And there are countless instances of this in this movie. But needing time to fix the escape hatch, they use the holodeck, where it is, to distract Jason. Now, it's a representation of a 1980s summer camp, complete with topless campers. And what are your thoughts on this?
So this part really bothers me in that, and I believe we've talked about this even recently off camera, is there was a point where Jason was killing people for a reason.
Mhm.
It was either revenge, it was territorial. He didn't just kill anybody and everybody. He only killed people that specifically like were connected to Crystal Lake, or you know what I mean? And obviously, as it went, it got a little bit more loose on that premise, bit by bit. Okay, somebody's just in his way, this or that. Maybe, it would be a witness to what's going on. But like, this is where at the point where it's just like, this mindless killing machine just wants to kill everything. And like, he literally changes course to go after these girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was used as a distraction because he was walking right towards Sunaran. I thought the scene was hilarious.
No, I mean, the scene itself is good, but like what it represents in that, like, they tried to show him as more of a thinking being, right? Like, we talked about it, he's starting to be a little bit more clever and stuff like that. He sees the immediate threat. He knows the people trying to escape, and yet he changes course to get these girls, which again, scene is done well, but what it represents in just the functionality of him really didn't sit well with me.
No, it was bad because he went back to being that giant lunkhead again.
Yep.
I did enjoy the fact that he was just beating one in a sleeping bag with the other in another sleeping bag and then just cracked her against a tree.
Yeah,
I do
great.
remember laughing out loud at that point.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sunaran, Rowan, and KM make it to the rescue pod, and then we get kind of Brodsky versus Jason. And them marching toward each other looked epic. I guarantee that was in the trailer. It's the best shot of the movie, in my opinion. Their space battle,
sad, man. Jesus.
not so much. I feel like we've seen that exact shot before of the two just storming towards each other, and then like a cutaway or like an explosion or something. But anyway, Brodsky and Jason burst into flames as they enter the atmosphere of Earth 2. And I guess we're supposed to assume that the pod landed safely because we don't see it again. And two teens see the flames in the sky, thinking it's a shooting star. One tells the other they think it landed in the lake and they go to check it out. I'm pretty sure they would have heard something, but whatever. And then you cut to Uber Jason's mask sinking to the bottom of the lake and fade to black as the classic Friday the 13th sounds play. Roll credits, end of movie, thank God.
Yep.
Yeah. This is probably one of our shortest episodes, or shorter episodes anyway.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
And this is the thing, like, how can you even care at this point when, like, Jason will survive everything? Like,
everything.
I get it. You know, he is the unstoppable supernatural killing machine. I don't even know where exactly he became supernatural. But at this point, it's just like, I have no faith that they're going to stop him. The movie doesn't even try to hide it. Every movie ends with, like, a cliffhanger, a tease to him coming back and doing more. It's just like, all right, lost interest in the stakes at this point.
Yeah. Like, we keep getting movies like this that are just atrocious, when movies like Leslie Vernon, like Behind the Mask, are set up perfectly for a sequel, and you actually want to see the sequel, and they never get made. Instead, we just get this shit shoveled down our gullets. How much do you think this movie cost?
There's no way I'm going to get this right, because I feel like I want to say no budget, and I think it's going to be shockingly high. 40 million.
It's kind of hazy, but what I'm seeing is between 11 and 14 million.
Even that, I don't know where it went.
I don't know either. It seems like way too much money for not enough visual. What do you think this movie grossed?
Well, it grossed me out just by being disappointed in myself for watching it. 20.
Close. Just over 17, 17.1.
So it definitely didn't make its money back.
No. Although I'm curious to know what it did on physical media, home video, because I feel like this movie has to be a bit of a cult classic just for how bad it is, right?
Hope
Right?
not. I hope not.
Let's get into the ratings. IMDb out of 10. Where do you think it's sitting?
4.2.
4 or 5.
Okay.
So yeah. Even worse over Rotten Tomatoes. For the tomato meter percentage of positive reviews.
27.
20. Popcorn meter?
38.
25.
Okay.
Movie's not really getting much love.
Right? Shouldn't.
No, it really shouldn't. Award time.
All right. Who did you have for your least favorite character?
My note here says most of the cast. But if we have to pick one, I'm probably gonna have to go with Lowe, the professor, I guess. I don't even know what his role really is. The acting was passable, so I'm not blaming the actor. The character was detestable, not because of his plans or his motivations. It didn't make sense, and he was on screen way too much, doing absolutely nothing. Spineless, they got that across just fine. But most actions that he did on screen made absolutely no sense. I didn't care. Much like when most of the characters in this movie died, I was just like, all right, we'll just add into the count. I don't give a shit about any of this. It was just boring. Who was your least favorite?
I had Lisa Ryder as KM 14. You know, I was thinking about Lowe, but then I was like, man, he was one of the only competent actors in the movie.
Yeah.
And like everything that KM, and I'm sure the direction was telling her to do it this way, but everything felt so terribly inhuman, out of place, poorly acted. Like, I did not want a second more screen time of this character.
Yeah, just pretty bad.
That's so bad.
I'm really curious to hear your favorite character was, though.
Oh, I went with Kane Hodder as Jason.
Okay.
You know, best actor in the movie. And the only character I rooted for.
I will agree that he's the best actor in the movie. As far as characters go, though, it was a toss-up for me between Brodsky or Tsunaran. But I think I have to go with Brodsky because he was the only one that realized the mistakes they were making, almost died from it, was brought back with the nanites, and went back into the fight smarter, having learned from his previous experience. He was the only character in the entire movie that seemed to have some growth and progression. So I'm going to go with him.
That's a very reasonable response. What did you
He
have
also
for your
has-
favorite? Oh,
Yeah, he has my most memorable line too.
Okay, what is
And
it?
I think it's one of the funniest parts of the entire damn film. And it's when he gets stabbed by Jason twice. Because he gets stabbed in the back and you see the blade come through the chest or his like guts. And he's just like saying, it's going to take more than a poke in the ribs to put down this old dog. And then the other blade comes through the other side. It's like, yeah, that ought to do it. So it's stupid. It's out of place. But having a line like that come out of Mensa's mouth was absolutely hilarious. And like it just reinforced him as one of my favorite characters. Yourself?
So before KM gets the upgrade,
Mhm.
they're talking about like their chances of survival.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember the guy's name.
Sunaran.
Sunaran's like 12%. Can't you come up with a better number than that? Or can you come up with better odds? And KM, in the most straight-faced response she has in the movie, is like, nope.
That was pretty good. I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah. I love this. What are our chances of surviving? I would say about 12%. Can't you come up with anything better than that? No. we're in trouble, man.
Memorable scene.
Sleeping bag kill. You knew
Same.
it. We communicated this before. You knew it.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing. There's no way it could be anything else. There's not enough good in this movie.
As much as I hate what that scene represents, and I'm not even the big fan of like, getting the two girls that are topless to just like give him like very generic out of place shot. It's literally when the camera cuts back to it and he's just swinging the sleeping bag.
Do you find it weird that in a slasher movie where people are just getting slaughtered, the two things that stand out to us are when the movie's actively trying to be funny? And those are the parts we enjoy the most. That means you failed as a slasher film.
Oh, for sure it fails as a slasher movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get to your final thoughts.
Flaming bag of dog shit. Like I said, starting off, I had good memories of this movie. Those were all dashed. It has some fun, memorable moments. But the acting is subpar. The writing is absolutely insulting. The visuals are the worst of the entire franchise. The story is the worst of the entire franchise. It feels like they're not even trying to make a competent film. And I feel bad that this is the last time we saw Kane Hodder as Jason. What a horrible note to go out on. But it is worth watching just to see how not to make a movie. Like this is even worse than most low budget shows on like Sci-fi, the Sci-Fi channel in the late 90s. It's an embarrassment to the entire franchise. So yeah, I recommend it to just so you can see it and you know what we're talking about. But it is a bad movie, and like, you only have to watch maybe like the first third and turn it off to understand what the rest of it's like. But it is shockingly horrible. What are your final thoughts?
If you only watch the first third, you're not going to see any of the better parts. At least you can watch the kills, but I wouldn't recommend even watching the first third. There's a reason that you and I went back and watched the entire franchise, and it was my first introduction to a lot of the movies, that after the fact, this was the one movie I probably remembered nothing about.
Yeah.
And it's probably because, consciously or subconsciously, I didn't want to remember any of this. This is absolutely embarrassing. Like, I don't even want to say bad. It's embarrassing.
It
I
is.
can't imagine anybody who's involved in this production would want to advertise that. You know, like, you got butt-faced Jason. And like, oh man, like, I can't believe Kane Hodder looked at that mask and was like, yeah, I'll put that on. Oh man. Don't watch this movie. Just don't. Never watch this movie. Don't tell your friends, even if they're not asking about it, tell them, just by the way, never watch this movie. It's bad.
Ditto.
Okay. God, Cody, what did you do? Ben, what are we watching next time, man?
All right. Well, next time we're watching a movie that has 3 different endings. So if you're going to listen to it, I suggest you watch the movie and check out all 3 endings, because we will be talking about them. Because next time we'll be discussing 1985's Clue.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer. Is it the timid Mr. Green?
Why are you screaming? Because I'm frightened of what? Screaming!
Or the militant Colonel Mustard?
If I was the killer, I would kill you next.
Huh?
I said half.
Mrs. White, who helped her husband on his way?
Well, it's a matter of life after death. Now that he's dead, I have a life.
Miss Scarlet, who's helped many men along the way?
Practice makes perfect. Huh.
Professor Plum, who's looking for a way?
I'm looking.
Mrs. Peacock?
I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, but I am determined to enjoy myself.
Or did the butler do it?
No.
Paramount Pictures invites you to an evening of mystery.
Let us out!
Murder.
This is getting quite serious.
And madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime.
So who did it?
Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
Until next time, have a good one.
All the best.
This program is a proud part of the Swear2Pod Network.